So you had Ray McLeod jump up 12 points. Why? Well, we knew he was going to be the special teamer last year, but he proved he could be a wide receiver. Came in some great situations. Debo was down, stepped in. He was an absolute stud. Um, I think that, again, he is the returner that we hoped he would be. He was great last year and didn't fumble the ball either. And also provided a little bit more wide receiver and playmaking ability on the offensive side. So I think that's one reason why. Kevin Givens went from 51 to 38. Now, you remember Kevin Givens started week 1 for us. We had 4 straight defensive tackles get injured in a span of 2 weeks before the season started. And so Kevin Givens went from might not make this roster. I thought he was behind Maurice Hurst to starting in 2 weeks. And so that's a 13 spot jump. And man, you're looking at Kevin Givens now. He might be the 4th defensive tackle, but he's going to be in the rotation. He's earned it. Hargrave, Armstead, Kinlaw, Givens. I think that's the depth chart. And if you want to put Givens ahead of Kinlaw, they're completely different players, different sizes, almost different positions, but they play the same position, right? But yeah, I'm with you, Josh. Yeah, Givens is so underrated. The Niners just continue to get these guys that just ball out in their second and third years. They sit around, you keep them on the practice squad, they get their chance year 2, year 3, and they shine. And Givens was exactly that. Samuel Womack, he jumped from 50 to 31, which is interesting to me. 19 spot jump. He's probably not. I thought he was going to start. Dang it. When we went into free agency, I was like, yep, Samuel Womack starting nickel back week 1. Then they signed Isaiah Oliver. So you've got depth there. But man, I really want to see Samuel Womack play. And the idea, again, we talked about quarterback injuries, right? Cornerback injuries are probably even more prominent, whether it's Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, Ambry Thomas, so on and so forth. Like, it just happens. But the idea is this: you're going to get a cornerback banged up at some point. They just play too physical. The 49ers asked their corners to play very physical. So at some point, something's going to happen there. Now, we stick with this. Oren Burks. I love Oren Burks. He jumped 46 to 26, so 20 spot jump. I think a lot of that has to do with Aziz leaving. Would Oren Burks be there if Aziz was back? Probably not. He was awesome on special teams. I think Oren Burks was the 3rd highest rated PFF player on defense for the year. Just didn't play a lot. But when he did step in, he was great. Colton McKivitz from 32 to 12. We got Colton McKivitz in the top 12. Whew. And that, again, I think that's explained by Mike McGlinchey. I went back last year, and a big reason why we had Colton McKivitz 32 last year, we weren't sure, if you jump back in the DeLorean, we weren't sure Mike McGlinchey was going to be ready for the first part of the season. Remember, he had the quad tear, missed a lot of the previous year, hadn't seen much of him. Everybody's talking about how he lost all that weight, then he gained back this weight. McGlinchey showed up early, but I thought Colton McKivitz was going to be playing early last year. Just didn't happen. Kalia Davis jumped 66 to 43. It's a 23 spot jump. And a lot of that was we knew he wouldn't play last year. He was drafted as a medical redshirt, tore his ACL, I believe, at the combine or at a combine workout. So Kalia Davis, man, that's just bonus. He's just gravy. Like, you don't need anything from him because that defensive tackle spot's so strong. But goodness, you've got somebody that sat in meetings. He started working out on our playoff run. Got that 21-day practice window activated late in the year. Went through practices. Was on the scout team, all those things. And then they just sat him down. So I fully expect him to be completely healthy. So we'll see there. Diamador Lenore. He went from 41 to 18. 23 spot jump. Because if you remember, we thought Ambry Thomas was going to start. Was not the case. Oh, look at this question right here. Anthony, he says, I'm predicting it. Niners going to make a big splash before the trade deadline. going to get Saquon Barkley or offensive lineman. Kyle wants to win it all. We've seen them do this multiple times. They like to do value trades once they know they're in the playoff hunt, right? So you kind of wait the first month to 2 months of the season because usually the trade deadline's right around Halloween. And so you get through September, you get through October, then it's like, okay, what are we missing? Is there an injury that's caused us to miss a spot? Or are we just deficient in one area? And they've gone and, Emmanuel Sanders, you've gone and got 2 defensive ends. You trade for Jordan Willis, you traded for Charles Omenihu. Then you go and get Christian McCaffrey in a huge blockbuster trade. Not to mention draft capital next year. Whew. 49ers got a lot of picks. They've got their own first rounder, second rounder, third rounder. Then they get a comp pick for McGlinchey. They get a comp pick for Carthon D'Amico. So that's 3 third-round picks, their own fourth rounder. They get a fifth-round comp pick for Samson Ebicom, their own sixth. They get another 6th-rounder for Jimmy Ward comp pick. They get another 6th-rounder for Emmanuel Mosley comp pick. They get a 7th-rounder of their own. They've got a ridiculous amount of picks. And, here's the comp pick chart from Over the Cap. And so you can just see, again, we have our own first, second, third, fourth. We don't have our own fifth. That was in the Christian McCaffrey trade. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And so, you look at all those picks, good gosh. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 11 picks next year. Now, we had a lot of picks this year, but we didn't have a first or second. Our third-round pick wasn't until super late. We have our own third-round pick this year. We have our own second, our own first. Now, are we going to be picking in the top 20 of any round? No. Even if we have a bad year, you're talking like picking 25th. Hopefully, you're picking 32nd in the first round. But still, the amount of draft compensation the 49ers will have this year, we haven't had for 3 straight years. And that's just the reality of the situation. So, yeah, I like that. And I think, I'm with you there, Anthony, that they will go get a spot. If I had to predict a spot, it'd be right here. I'm with you, Josh. They trade for an edge. That makes the most sense. But we'll see. We'll see. What's up, bro? Hashtag CC. Love it. So, yeah, fun stuff. Jason Poe, I had, again, back to our risers from our roster countdown, 75 to 51. He jumped 24 spots. And we've got all these second-round players, a whole bunch of them. The rest of the list is all second-year players. Listen to this. Taylor Hawkins jumped 24 spots. Quantrez Knight, 26 spots. A lot of that is because Taylor Hawkins was 87 last year. He jumped up. Quantrez Knight was 82nd last year. He jumped up. Curtis Robinson was 85th last year. He jumped up 28 spots. Jordan Mason, who I was high on last year, I had him at 67. He jumped all the way up to 33. That's a 34 spot jump. Marcelino McCurry Ball, I had him at 88. He jumped to 53. Spencer Burford, jumped 42 spots. 42. He went from 59 last year, a bubble player, to 17th. 59 to 17, that's 42 spots. It's incredible. Now, as Coach Cruz very well astutely put, has to be Purdy number 1. You are exactly correct, my friend. Brock Purdy jumped. Brock Purdy was rated number 78 last year. 78. This year, it's hard to put him because we did this right after the surgery. So you have to kind of keep in mind, context is important. This was right after the surgery. We started this whole process of going through, and ranking all these players. We ranked him 14th this year. I think that'd have to be even higher now. Because I don't think, the whole premise is who has the largest impact on the 49ers 2023 season. We were operating under the timetable that the doctors gave us that he was going to miss the first 4 weeks. Well, I don't think if we redid this list, Brock Purdy would be at 14 now. Even with the plethora of quarterbacks that the 49ers have, and Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy, you throw in Brandon Allen as well. But, when we did this, we had it last year was 78, this year 14. That's a 64 spot jump. And I think it's got to be even more than that. I think it's got to be even more than that. What's up, Marco, man? He said, "What's up, buddy? Long time no see since I joined the chat. Love to have you here, Marco. Appreciate you, man. It's good to see you. Good to hear from you." So it's interesting, though, because, as I look at this list, and I think this is kind of how the 49ers do everything with their redshirt process. You don't get much contribution from players their first year, but their second year, good gosh. And you know what? Ray McLeod, not a second-year player, but second year with the Niners. Given, second year. Womack, second year. Oren Burks, second year with the Niners. Colton McKivitz, he's been around a little bit more than that. Kalia Davis, second year. Demo, second year starting. Jason Post, second year. Taylor Hawkins, second year. Quantrez Knight, second year. Curtis Robinson, second. Jordan Mason, second. Marcelino, second. Burford, second. Purdy, second. If these guys pan out, even half of them, what an incredible draft haul you got last year. And a lot of these guys are undrafted, right? So, you're not going to put the undrafted guys very high on your list because, hey, why would you? What's up, Bim? Hashtag CC, baby. I love it. Countdown crew. Now, let's go negative. And I see you, Coach Cruz. I see you logging into the sheet. I got the open a Excel sheet with all of our rankings on there. I see them just logged in, you cheater. I love it. Absolutely love it. So the biggest fallers, right? Which you got to look at both sides of the spectrum. Let's just be really honest with you. We'll start at, I started counting at 10. We started counting the risers at 12. There were a lot more of those. Biggest fallers, Trey Lance. We had one last year. He fell to 11. Again, if we redid this, I don't think Trey Lance would be 11. I think he'd probably be 15 to 20-ish. But again, we did this right after the surgery, so it's a little different. Danny Gray fell 10 spots, 29 to 39. And I think that fall could continue to happen depending on the quarterback. I mean, Danny Gray was brought in to be a deep threat for a strong-armed quarterback. Trey Lance not getting the playing time, it just doesn't fit with Brock Purdy. That's not Brock Purdy's game. Never will be. He just doesn't have it. Kerry Hyder fell 35 to 47, 12 spots. Jalen Moore, 49 to, he's 49 this year, was 34. He fell 14 spots. Ty Davis Price, 27 to 41. He fell 14 spot. Charlie Warner, 40 to 55. That's 15 spot. Kinlaw, 13 to 28. We'll see. This is an important year for Kinlaw. Not so much for the 49ers. I think that his time will come to a close with the end of his contract. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, obviously. New space might be good for him, but he's got an opportunity to put a stamp out there on what he can do. Is he going to be a top 5 defensive tackle? I don't think so. But he doesn't have to be. He can have a good career. We'll see there. DFF, he fell from 43 to 59. That's a 16-spot fall. And it's interesting because I think Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles is going to be around for a while, but we found out he can just play special teams. Linebacker is not it. And you look at the draft, you look at the undrafted free agents they brought in. I don't think DFF might get linebacker snaps in practice. He's a special teams only player. It's just, I don't know what else to say. And the biggest faller, which started this episode and this whole conversation, was Ambry Thomas. We thought he was starting. You go back from that NFC Championship game, right? Had one of the biggest plays of the 2020 season. The walk-off interception in overtime, week 17, lose your out, picks off Stafford, walk-off pick. That is rare. Niners go to the playoffs, win the wild card, win division round, come up short, in the NFC Championship against the Rams. But we walked into last season thinking this dude's our starter. That was not the way. It just wasn't it at all. They go sign Charvarius Ward in free agency. He becomes the one. Emmanuel Mosley, he becomes the 2. Mosley gets hurt. They don't even bring in Ambry Thomas. Yeah, he fell 33 spots, 28 to 61. Gosh, that's rough, man. Marco, he says, around how many Undrafted free agents from 2023 this year, do you think have a chance of making the 53, if any? This roster is getting harder and harder, guys. It's hard to find a spot for any of them. I'm going to be honest with you. Last year we had Jordan Mason. I think that was it. Maybe I'm missing somebody. I think Jordan Mason was it. Deshaun Jameson got the most money. The only way he makes it is if there's an injury to Ray McLeod or a corner. Joey Fisher, he's playing guard. We have so much depth there. Jack Coletto, where he fits in with the Kyle Juszczyk thing. They're playing him at fullback. They want to use him short down yardage. They want to use him special teams. Can you use a whole roster spot on that? I don't know, man. I do not see one. I don't see one. I hope somebody surprises. Jack Coletto would be my answer, but man, I don't see one. This roster, Marco, it's hard, man. And we get down to it and we're predicting, the top 53 make the roster. And it's just like, yikes. Once you get there, like you've got some great freaking players that just aren't there. It's hard. This is a hard roster to crack. I don't know what else to say besides that. And I think a testament to that, I got a third category based on, risers, fallers, but I also did identical players that kind of stayed where they were. And I'll go in order with, Juwan Jennings. He was 25th last year. We had him 25th this year. He did everything that you wanted. And his role as the number 3 wide receiver, I don't think is in question. It's just what he is. It's what he's going to be. He's the number 3 guy. That's what it's going to be. And so he stayed the same. Dre Greenlaw was 16th last year. He's 15th this year. People said I was too high on him last year. He shouldn't be that high. Wrong. I don't do this a lot. I was right on Dre Greenlaw his rookie year. I was right on Dre Greenlaw his sophomore year. I was right on him his third year. No doubt about it. I have been continually right on this kid. I'm not right very often. I'm wrong most times. I was right on him. And so we bumped him up 16 to 15. And I think that's where he needs to be. I think it's really where he needs to be. That's just saying a lot, man. He's so damn good on this roster. Charvarius Ward was 9th last year. He delivered. He's 9th again this year. Kittle, listen to this. This is funny. Kittle was 5th. Now he's 6th. Fred Warner was 6th. Now he's 5th. Those two guys, tight end and linebacker, and again, you want to bump up somebody. I get it. Trent Williams was 3rd. Now he's 2nd. And Nick Bosa was 2nd. Now he's 1st. So those are like, you've had guys that have hit at that top end. And that's why the 49ers are so damn good.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.